I've been waiting to make this video for a long time, and I just want to show you guys my brand new purchase. Well, it's not new. Don't get me wrong. It's not new. It's used, but it's new to me. My Foster Miller Talon robot. These are used by the Army, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, and the Navy as the predominant bomb disposal robot for military EOD. They're also used by civilian bomb squads and bomb squads around the world. Great robot, love them, used them for years. So let's go over some features and some of the things that go on. First off, this is what they come in. 2 shipping containers. You got your robot one here, the main robot goes in there. And over here, you'll have your OCU, which is the control unit, fiber optic cable spool, batteries, and battery charger. That's not the one that came with it. That's one I had. So with that one there, the one that comes with it, you can only charge 2 batteries at a time. This one here, you can charge 8. The robot itself uses 6 BB2590 lithium-ion batteries or 6 BB390B/U nickel batteries. That charger there can recharge both. The difference between the 2 batteries, the lithium-ion, the 2590s, you can get anywhere from 4 to 8 hours of runtime out of the robot. The nickel metal hydrides, maybe 3 to 4. So if you do get one of these, make sure you spend the money, get some good batteries in it. The OCU does take one 390 or 2590 right in that compartment there. All right, so I got it out of the truck. I got it out of the box. Let's go over some features of the Foster Miller Talon robot and why it has been so predominant around the world since its introduction in the early 2000s. Great robot. You can do a lot with it. It's relatively light. I'm not going to say it's light to some people, but one person can lift it. It's awkward. It's doable. Right here, we have thick rubber tracks that mold and conform to all the different terrain. Your driven sprocket back there, idler wheels up front, track tension right there. In here, we have this arm assembly. We have the upper arm, lower arm, gripper, and your wrist here. This wrist will turn so you can orientate the gripper whichever way you need it. This here, this comes in and out by adjusting this. You can adjust the angle, set it to whatever you need. We usually run them right around there so you can see what the gripper is doing with 2 cameras. Just tighten it down there. And that's it. So you can take these over rough terrain. You can get them wet. You can't submerge them, but you can run them in rain or whatever. Not a big deal. Over here, we have 2 antennas, control and a video antenna. We have 4 cameras on the Talon. We have our antenna here up on this mast. Now this mast will go lay down or lay forward. It has pan, tilt, and zoom up here. This camera, it does not have night vision, but it does have an LED flashlight up top that's really bright if you need to use it at night. These 3 cameras on the main body of the robot. You have your rear drive camera. This one here is night vision, IR. This one up here on the gripper camera is IR with night vision. And this one here on the upper arm is night vision as well. Now you can rotate these to whatever orientation you want with just a quick turn knob, loosen it up, turn it to however you want it. You also have a little microphone right there underneath the camera. So on the OCU, there's a small speaker. You can hear what's going on downrange when you send this thing down. Your range can vary between 200 meters, thereabouts, to 800 meters. Now, 800 meters is really pushing it. You might get it, you might not. Probably not going to happen unless all the stars are aligned and everything's gone right, and you have a really good line of sight. So up here at the gripper, 2 metal grippers, and you have textured metal pads inside. There's a lot of gripping force in there when you're using your robot. Don't put someone's finger in there and close it. It's a very painful experience. A lot of guys have found out. Over here, we have the camera mast here and the clutch pack and the motor. Be very careful using those and moving them a lot. Manually, you can move them, but the more you do it, you can wear parts out in there. Your drive motors are under this cover here and under this cover here. They're separate. So this robot can sit here and do a 0-degree turn on itself. You can also just turn normally, just like you would a car. Comes with practice. Under here is where your batteries go. The robot holds 6. It will run off 2, but it's you won't be able to run it very long. Over here is your arm motor. This controls the lower arm and the upper arm independently. And that's pretty much it for features and functions here on the Talon robot. I'll show you the battery pack real quick. So you're going to have to lift this arm up, pull it up. And under here, under the Velcro, 3 batteries go here, 3 batteries go there. You can see the little connector where they plug right in on the 2590s. And that's where they go. To get to those, you'll just pull up the Velcro, move it out of the way, put the batteries in, put the battery cover in, and strap it down. There's a little Velcro strip that goes over the top and holds everything in place. Back here is your on-off switch. So the bottom button here, off. The top one is on. Just tuck that back inside once you turn it on. So you'll turn the robot on, and then over here we have the OCU, or control unit. Depends on whatever you want to call it. So to turn it on, flip that on. It's going to give you a OCU booting, and it takes a little while, but your video cameras come right up. Once the OCU is booted, I'll show you that display. So over here on your display, you have 4 cameras. You have your gripper cam, your upper arm camera, your rear drive camera, and your pan tilt zoom. Great cameras. They all work at night except for your pan tilt zoom camera. But that's what the LED is for. Let's wait for that boot up there, and then I'll go over what the display there tells you in each function of the robot. Now it's connecting to the robot. All right, boot it up. So right here, this display here is going to give you and tell you the direction of the robot here, the angle of the robot, left and right axis. So if it's tilted over, it'll give you a degree reading, and then your forward, backward angle of the robot here. So if you're climbing something or going down something, it tells you how steep you're going. It's handy to have if you're driving it and you're not seeing the robot. You can kind of tell by looking at the cameras and seeing its orientation here, what it's doing. So let's go over the controls of the Talon robot. Up here, you have your pan tilt zoom camera for focus and iris, which is controlled by this right here. You can put it in auto and it will auto focus, and it will adjust the iris for light as needed. So if you wanted to make it bright, you'd flick that down to iris. You can close the iris down and it'll make it brighter and darker. It's handy at night. Focus, same thing. Flip the switch up to focus. Then you can get it in and out of focus. Put it back into iris. All right, and then you have your zoom in, zoom out. Let's put that on the main screen. As you can see, the function is a little slow, but you can get pretty in there with it. All right, so other controls here. This one here, this microphone and speaker. That was under the upper arm there, and you can listen to what's going on where the robot is by turning up the OCU volume, and then you can push to talk. I don't think these came with a speaker. I've never used it. Right here, you have your arm and fire. This would be used for if you had a disruptor downrange. Right here, you have your hour meter. It tells you how many hours the robot's been running throughout its lifetime. This one here is your camera mass control. So on top of that pan, tilt, zoom camera, where you can go left, right, up, down, all that stuff, you also have the mast control. That mast that it sits on will go up and down. So you can lay that camera all the way down, almost flat to the ground, and take the camera and put it up underneath a car or something like that if you wanted to look underneath it. All right, next function. There is an LED light on top of that camera. You can see it up there. As you remember, it does not have night vision, but if you turn this on right here, it turns on the light. You can run it in and give yourself some white light in the middle of the night while you're working. Right here is your drive, your forward and backwards, left and right. So up is forward, back is reverse, left and right. Over here, on top of that, you have a drive speed controller for fine-tuning the speed of the robot. This control is proportional, but it's best to take it and start off slow. So if you move that back, there you go. And you can make it go a lot faster, but I won't do that since I'm sitting right next to it. Next control you have over here is your gripper, open and close. So you'll push it up for open. And you see it gets pretty wide. And again, don't stick your fingers in there and it'll close all the way down until it squeezes real hard and breaks fingers. Next control you have is the arm stow. Now this is a really neat feature. When you need to stow your arm, it will stow your arm in the exact same position every time, no matter where you've placed that arm while you're running it. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the arm stow. And it brings it back to its home position. Next up, wrist home. So controlling your wrist, this one here turns the wrist left and right. So if you've got it off center like that, you can come over here, push up, and it will bring your wrist home. Just like that. This is also the speed control for the pan tilt wrist. If you have your camera, let's see, I put it over there, I move it all around. I'm not sure what I'm looking at. Come down here, pan tilt home, and it brings that back to its original home position every time. All right, next up you have arm lock. What that will do is stop the arm from moving if you bump the controls here. Roll stop. What this allows you to do is when the robot's on a hill and it wants to roll backwards, right now it rolls freely because it's off. But if you have that roll stop on, it'll actually stop the robot from moving backward or forward due to gravity. Also, when you're driving really fast with the roll stop on, as soon as you let go of the drive stick, it's going to stop immediately and not go forward. So let's go ahead and turn the roll stop on. And you'll see the tracks don't want to move. That's it. All right, next up is arm function. So right here we have our lower arm. Pushing forward brings the arm up. Notice that the upper arm stays in the same position. Now you can manipulate these arms simultaneously, the upper and lower arm. Next up is the lower arm, that's this switch here. And you'll push it forward, it'll go up. Push it down, it goes down. That's it. Over here, the final thing is, let's see, speed control drive here, pan tilt wrist, arm. So this controls your arm speed, your camera, how fast the pan tilt zoom camera moves, left and right, up and down. And then your drive speed is how fast the robot itself goes when you push forward all the way on the stick. So I'll turn it down here to about a quarter of the way, and I'll push it all the way forward. That's it. Now if I turn this thing all the way up and I hit it, a lot quicker. So that's how much you adjust and use the Talon robot. If you have any questions, I'll make some more videos about it. Thanks in advance. Hope you guys enjoy it.